Hey everybody, welcome back to Pokemon Fire Red. Last episode we took out the gym leader Erica, and we used that new Pokemon of ours, Doduo, or as we are going to be calling him, Ezra. And now in this episode we're going to try and get to the next city. We're going to take out the two routes to get to it. Hopefully, maybe not. It might be a really long episode, so I might cut it down to two parts, but this is the first route. And in this one, we already seen earlier trying to get our new team member. But now we're actually going to go through and take out all the trainers. What do you want? So this is a bike lane route type thing. So we're going to have a lot of bikers here. Back to Lao. Lao with the Grimer. I'm going to take out Lao. You know, when I got this new name for Doduo, Ezra, I was thinking to myself, why does that name sound so familiar? And then I thought, oh yeah, I've been watching Avatar Korra, and I think one of the names of the characters is Ezra. So I was like, wow, that's an interesting coincidence that I found that name while I'm watching Korra. And you know, actually watching the show, I always heard from people that the show was just awful and it was horrible. And you know, watching it now, like actually forming my own opinion about it, I'm just thinking like, what are these people talking about? Like, the only thing that I can see and agree with about people not liking about it was the main character for a couple episodes. I'm not going to spoil anything about it, but there was a part in, I think, season 3, I think the beginning of season 3, where she was just unlikable, completely unlikable. And yeah. But after that, it was either season 3 or season 2. I'm on season 4 right now. So I think it's season 3. Is it season 3? God, man. What? Okay. Season 1 was City. Season 2. Jesus, why can't I remember? Well, I'm pretty sure it's season 3. No, season 2. Yeah, season 2, the beginning, she was really unlikable. Now I remember season 3. Okay. Forgive me and my horrible memory of a show that I've been just absolutely binge watching and like falling asleep while watching. I rewatch the parts I fall asleep, but sometimes it kind of get jumbles together because I binge watch it so much. Anyway, like I was trying to remember, was in the beginning of season 2, she was just completely unlikable. But after, I think that halfway into the season, or maybe 75% of the season, she became likable again. They changed her character because even the creators, I think, knew that they made her very unlikable. And she became a lot better of a character. Oh, wow. Ezra is evolving. I forgot she evolved, or he evolves this quick. And congratulations, you're Ezra evolved into Dugtrio. And there we go. We got another fully evolved Pokemon on our team. Ezra. Level 31. That's a weird level to evolve at. Wait, did I level up twice in that fight? I was too busy with freaking Legend of Korra that I can't even remember. I wasn't even paying attention. I was just autopiloting. Damn. Anyway, like I was saying, she was unlikable beginning of the season, and then they make her likable. How did I even get here? I started talking about a character from Legend of Korra, and then that shit happened. Anyway, I've been enjoying that series. People were shitting on it when it first came out, but you know, watching it, I like it. Honestly, besides like a few things about the show that are not better than the first series, there's a lot about it that I like more than the first one. Like season 4 and season 3 and the later half of season 2, I think, are better than the first series. Avatar, the first one, Avatar The Last Airbender, as a whole, I think is more consistent and better than Korra, but I feel like the ideas and how they played out and how they talked about stuff and how they did things in Korra, I think some of their like plot lines are better than Avatar: The Last Airbender. The advantage Korra has over Avatar was that Avatar was, of course, Avatar: The Last Airbender had one consistent, huge plot line going for it at once. So it was pretty much the same thing over and over again. But with Korra, each season is a new big bad and whatnot. That might be bad for others. They might disagree with me, but I feel like that added a lot to the show. And it made Korra more human than Aang, I feel like. They gave her a lot of depth, if that makes any sense. Because I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't want to give spoilers, but I feel like Korra does a better job of developing character than they did with Aang. Even in the Korra series, they added more to Aang, which I really enjoyed. There's a lot of things about Korra that I really like over the first Avatar. And before anybody says, I watched the whole first series when it came out on Netflix, and now I'm watching Korra. I haven't finished it yet. Like I said, I'm on season 4. I'm a little over halfway through it. And I'm almost done with the series too. But like I said, in general, first series, I think I like it better, but Korra has like really, really good things that really outweigh the bad of the show. That I feel like some people got way too hung up on. Like, if I remember in the beginning when it was first coming out, there was a lot of homophobia, if I remember right, because I haven't finished the series, but I think this is true, or whatever. But one of the characters, I think they made it where they became bi, and a lot of people are upset about it. And I feel like they could have done it a little bit better, but in general, when shows make gay characters, I don't pay too much mind to it, because, you know, they're just like straight characters. They're just characters with a different sexual orientation or sexual preference, whatever. And, you know, whatever. You're gay, you're gay. You're straight, you're straight. But when it first came out, I know there was a lot of people upset about it. And speaking on that, I remember, this is a completely different series, but Dragon Ball Super, when they had two characters, Kale and Khalifa. I think that's what their names are. But pretty much they're two characters that are friends, and they're very like loving towards each other. They're pretty much sisters. And there was a lot of homophobia when it came to those two characters. I remember just like a lot of the Dragon Ball fans being really hateful to those characters. And I was just like trying to think back then. I was just like, what the heck? What is wrong with these people? And I remember people were lying about certain things. Like, they would be saying they would be slapping each other's asses. When I actually watched all of Super, and there was one scene where I can't remember who did it, but one of them gave like a good old pat in the back, and people interpret it as a slap in the butt when the hand wasn't even near the butt. I don't know. It's just, if I could give any advice to anybody, form your own opinion before you listen to somebody else. Because, yeah. In general, if somebody is homophobic with anything that I have an interest into it, or, you know, either want to play or watch, I kind of dismiss them and form my own opinion. I feel like creators of games and shows can do gay characters badly, and, you know, you could tell that they're doing it just for the brownie points. And that's when I would be like, yeah, okay, I can kind of agree with you about, they did this gay character poorly, but being angry at the character solely because they're gay, I think is just bad. Really, it's stupid. Like, try and imagine if a gay person was like, oh, they put a straight person in the show. They always put straight person people in the shows and games. Like, either way you look at it, either side that you look at it, it's stupid. It's just stupid. So, yeah. I think there's a lot of stupid people who have nonsense beliefs and opinions about things that just don't make any sense, really. It's just dumb. So yeah, I'm always form your own opinion. I've enjoyed Korra. I don't care that they made one of the characters, or like are hinting at it, because like I said, I haven't seen finish the show yet. Into being bi or gay, I don't care. As long as you have good writing, the characters are likable, that's fine. I don't care. And that kind of brings up a different point. Like that was a big thing. Was Last of Us 2, where there was a lot of gay characters. Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but the main characters, they're I'm trying to remember playing the game. The main character, Ellie, I think they have written her to be lesbian. Well, actually, you know what? Not all the main characters have a different sexual orientation rather than straight. Anyway, main character, they have her lesbian. The secondary main character, I think, transitioned from a man to a woman, if I'm remembering right. But anyway, there's a lot of controversy from the second main character because she was trans. And people were hating on it and shitting on it. And they're saying the game was, oh, awful. I can't believe you guys did this. Worst game ever. And then I look at Last of Us's Twitter and I see people saying, oh, change the ending, make an update, change everything about this. We can't have this creature as one of the main characters. And I'm just thinking, like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Like, I could understand having a different point of view, different belief, but that's just... man, I hate the internet and just people in general sometimes. From just, like, the awful and stupid shit that they say. And I play Last of Us 2. One of my friends, we have it set up on our PS4s where we can play each other's games. And he's a big Last of Us fan. And he got it, like, day one. So I gotta play it. I beat it. I played it all the way through. Played it a second time. Not all the way through, halfway. But still, I played it. And I'm sitting there, I'm playing it, I'm just like, what is wrong with people? Like, nothing about this game screams out horrible and needs like an update to change it at all. Like, I really like, I don't know if I should say philosophy, but I like the message that they went for in the game where, I don't know, I don't want to get too into it because I could just go on and on about it for like an hour, but there's a lot about the game that I really like, and nobody is seeing it that are in that group of people who are just hating on it solely because of the trans woman in the game. And it's just like, oh my god, man. Some people are so narrow-minded and closed-minded that they can't enjoy things for what they are, and they're kind of... It's just racist people and homophobic people that I just have a hard time understanding. Hating people for how they are. Racists in general, I just like... I don't get it, man. Why are you hating somebody for something they can't change? Like, they're born that skin color. They can't change it. That's how they were born. It's like hating somebody for having a thumb. Or, hating somebody for... I don't know, speaking. It's something we all are most have. It's something we were born with, and you know, we can't change. That's just how it is. I don't get people like that who just hate on people or hate on games or storylines that have, you know, people of color, gay people, trans people. You know, it's stupid. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand the hate. It's frustrating. Really, really frustrating. Man, I kind of just went off on that crap, and you know, I could make a video on this whole topic about racist people and homophobic people and transphobic people and the gaming community, or any community really. I could just go on and on about it, but yeah, it's a lot to deal with, and I see it more and more, I feel like, than I ever did before. When I was a kid, you know, I never saw people, and at least in my group of friends, when I was a little kid, elementary school, before internet was a big thing, before Twitter was a thing, you know, games like Metroid or other games with female leads, like Tomb Raider, I never saw any, like, people get too upset about it. None of my friends. Hell, one of my closest friends that I got Last of Us 2 from, you know, the first one you got to play as one of the female leads, and then he's been really enjoying Last of Us 2 again with a female lead. But you know, now that we have Twitter, you know, internet is a much more complex and bigger thing than it was when I was a kid and everybody else was a kid. There's just all these people coming out of the woodworks where they have these horrible opinions and ideas of how games should be, and you know, these awful opinions on people. It's just, sometimes I think the internet was a mistake. The internet, you know, gives a mask to people to just be hateful and awful people, and people celebrate it sometimes. People celebrate being horrible people on the internet, and it's really upsetting. The internet can be very mentally damaging too. It can make people spiral into depression because of how horrible the internet can be. Man, this whole episode is just me thinking deeply about, you know, the internet and how horrible people treat other people. I guess I'll just have the whole episode like this. Just have this deep conversation about how bad people can be and how the horrible opinions can affect people, I guess. And kind of like going back to Last of Us 2 and just like people having terrible opinions about it. Yeah, every time I go on Twitter, I have the Last of Us Twitter account followed. Every time they post something new, every post, it's somebody saying change the update, you know, the trans character, they say something horrible about the trans character, and just bullying the actor. Well, in Last of Us 2, they had actors, I think they had like motion, I forget what the term is called, but they have it where the people who voice their characters actually move around and stuff. They do actual acting. And it gets portrayed in the game. Anyway. Yeah, there's a lot of, it's very easy for somebody to really be a horrible person on the internet because, like I said, there's that mask you have on where it's harder for people to know who you are. It's harder to have consequences for your actions when it's hard to trace back to who said what. And it leads to just horrible people doing horrible things. And like I said, Last of Us 2 was a good game. Do I think it was better than the first game? In a lot of aspects, yes. A lot of things they did a lot better. But there was definitely a good amount of bad. Do I prefer the first one over the second one? Personally, yes. I prefer the second one over the first one. Do I think the game deserves all this unwarranted hate? No. Not at all. Does the deserve criticism where it's due? Definitely. But hey, these hateful people attack. That's another thing I just don't understand. Why do people, and this has always been a thing, but now it's evolved into something worse. I don't know if anybody remembers when... Okay, right now I'm 21, almost 22. I'm getting close to being 22. I don't know if anybody remembers when people my age or close to my age, when we were kids, or teenagers, whenever, where people would go after actors or actresses, on the street and be like, what the hell? You're such an asshole. From, like, let's say they play a villain on a TV show and people would go after them. And it's just like, they play a character, right? It's not actually them. And now you have, fast forward to now, where we have people bullying a little girl from Marvel, who people think a white little girl is gonna play a black character, who bullied this little girl so much that, she wants to commit suicide. I think I'm remembering that right. Or they kick her off, or they want her to leave. It's just horrible. And then, not to mention all the Star Wars stuff. My God, the bad side of the fans for Star Wars. The things I've seen and heard. It's just like, come on. They're human. They're people too. Just like me and you. Like I said, the internet, it brings a lot of good. There's a lot of things I like about the internet, but there's so much bad that it's so tiring and so, like, defeating. It's just like, sometimes I don't even want to be on the internet because of just how many of the horrible things that I'll see. That's why sometimes I think the internet was a mistake. There's so much bad that sometimes the good doesn't feel like it's enough. I don't know, man. Like I said, without the internet, I couldn't be able to do this YouTube stuff. Without the internet, I couldn't be able to talk to my friends that are across the country or across the world. It's just, oh man. Frustrating. There's a lot of bad, but a lot of good. It's kind of one of those dilemmas where you don't know what's the right answer or what's the right thing. But yeah. My way of looking at it, straight, straight, gay, trans, whatever. If the story is good, the characters are written good, more power to you. I don't care what kind of character they are, as long as it's done well, perfect. I don't care. But all these homophobic people and these transphobic people, they need to grow up. And you know what? Not enough people talk about this. But white, straight people, they get hate too. Not as much as gay and people of color, but you know what? The hate needs to stop everywhere. It can't just stop in some places and remain somewhere else. Everybody needs to stop being an asshole to everybody. Do I think that's gonna happen? No. But I think the majority of people need to realize that love needs to be spread everywhere, not just some places. and hate needs to stop. Not stop in most places, not one. I think love needs to be spread a lot more, and hate needs to not be spread as much or at all. Oh no, is David gonna go down? Nope, not even close. And you know, that's an unpopular opinion with some people. It's a very unpopular opinion to try and defend white straight people. But you know, they deserve love and respect just as much as everybody else does. And I know there's a lot of white straight people who do wrong, but the same thing can be said about gay or people of color. And you know, we need to find who's the good people. There's bad in everybody. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's bad in every group of people. It's our job when trying to be with the right people to find out who it is. We can't generalize, because you know, that's all just going to be a bunch of racism, a bunch of homophobic, a bunch of anti-Semitism. I think I'm using the right term. Hopefully, pretty much hating on Jews, if I'm not coming off correctly. That all that needs to stop. And I just, looking at the world, it's frustrating. It's very frustrating, because when you have the belief that, you know, people should be treated equally, and you know, people should be treated nice when that other person is nice, and you know, other people don't follow suit, it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating to see people hate blindly. And you know, I wish the world was a better place sometimes. And it's not something that can be done overnight. People accepting others and loving each other, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a lot of work. Because for change to happen, you need time. And right now, in America at least, I'm going to talk about only in America because I know more here than anywhere else, because that's where I live. We have, you know, Black Lives Matters happening, police brutality happening. We all have all this hate and violence going on from both sides, from white people, from people of color, and not to say there isn't good coming from both sides. You know, there's a lot of loving and nice white people, and there's a lot of loving and nice people of color. It's just those people in both sides that are escalating both and destroying the message of love and peace that I wish was destroyed and not around. But when it comes to big groups of people, you're gonna have the bad ones come in. Well, anyway, we got to Fuchsia City from the left route. What route is it called? I forget. Route 18. We just finished Route 18. We got deep and heavy. Started off with talking about homophobia and a cartoon show. Then we started talking about video games, homophobia and transphobia. Then I started talking about life in general, of people who are hateful, and yeah. It's definitely something that's worthwhile talking about and trying to change for the better. Like I said in the beginning, I don't care who you are. I don't care what you look like. I don't care whether you like a guy or you like a girl. I don't care if you were a man in the beginning and you became a woman, or vice versa. I don't care. As long as you're a good person, that's all that matters. You know, do what you want with your life. It's your life, nobody else's. Do what makes you happy. Don't do what other people want to be happy. You know, if you have parents who don't understand whether you're gay or you want to make the transition, and they'll be upset. And I know I've heard stories of parents kicking out kids for being gay or trans. And, you know, I think that's horrible. And just know, I don't know if anybody's gonna watch this all the way through. It's 30 minutes long, but know there's people like me and others who are very accepting and loving. Because I haven't had the similar situation, but I have people in my family not show me love for how I was or for their own personal reasons why they didn't. So I think it's very important to, you don't have to go the whole way, all out of your way to help people, but showing them a little kindness and love is enough. You don't have to do your 100, you don't have to, you don't have to dedicate your life to helping somebody, but doing a little bit really helps. And I guess that's what I'm trying to say, is to lean the world towards, happiness and love, is just do a little nice every day. Show a little kindness every day. It can be hard, especially to certain people, but I think with a little bit of love and kindness, we'll get to a better world, better place to live. Alright, with that bit of a heavy episode done of Fire Red, I think that'll be it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.